Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in this night. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan coming to you live from Piscini Stadium on the campus of Franklin High School in Franklin, Massachusetts. Here to bring you coverage of today's MIAA Division I Girls Soccer State Tournament Round of 16 contest between the hosting 4th-seeded Franklin High Panthers and the visiting 13th-seeded Brookline High Warriors. You might have noticed the internet connection for this broadcast a little iffy. I've got a recording going, so I'll be able to post a recorded version later if it turns out to be some egregiously bad connection. We're about 12 minutes out from our scheduled 6 p.m. start time here tonight. And with that in mind, let's take a look at how these two teams got here. Now, obviously, those of you who have been following my broadcasts and following the Brookline High Warriors, you know that they got here courtesy of a 2-0 win over 20th-seeded Hopkinton at Parsons Field in Brookline last Saturday. For Franklin High, surprisingly, the 4th seed actually kind of struggled against 29th-seeded Reading in the round of 32, being forced into overtime after a scoreless tie in regulation. But ultimately, Franklin did come through with the game-winning goal to advance to today's contest here. So that's how the two teams got here. Of course, for Brookline, the goal scorers back on Saturday. First, Cecilia Wager with a beautiful floating shot out of a free kick in just the 3rd minute of play. And then in the second half, a header goal by Anna Leshley off a corner kick assist from Zoe Fagnan. And of course, the starting keeper, Juliana Anastopoulos, credited with the shutout victory. So I imagine the PA is going to take over soon, but in the meantime, let's take a look at our rosters here today. Starting off, we'll take a look at the visiting 13th-seeded Brookline High Warriors. Going in order of jersey number, we have a freshman, number 1, Vilena Chernychev. A senior co-captain, number 3, Hope Leshley. A senior co-captain, number 4, Zoe Fagnan. A senior, number 5, Ansley Washburn. A junior, number 6, Sarah Gonzalez. A senior co-captain, number 7, Mila Seifert. A junior, number 8, Sari Frankel. A junior, number 9, Hannah Whited. A sophomore, number 10, Amra Ukamadu. A junior, number 11, Madeline Moore. A junior, number 12, Celia Marinus. A junior, number 13, Gianna Pentland. A senior, number 14, Kellen McNamara. A junior, number 15, Cecilia Wager. A senior, number 16, Kendall Freeze. A senior, number 17, Nilufar Dadgar. A freshman, number 18, Anna Leshley. A freshman, number 19, Sydney Freeze. A senior, number 20, Liv Ernst. A junior, number 22, Eleanor Bergstein. A junior, number 27, Alex Levy. And then finally, we have the 3 registered goalkeepers for Brookline. A junior, Phoebe Shea. A junior, Talia Thompson. And a senior co-captain, Juliana Anastopoulos. Head coach of the Brookline High girls soccer team is Rob Sprague, with assistant coaches Ben Peters, Andrew Sell, and James Moradian. So that is your roster for the Brookline High girls soccer team coming into this one. Now let's take a look at the roster for the hosting 4th-seeded Franklin High Panthers. First off, we have a junior, number 9, Nora Anderson. A junior keeper, number 0, Haley Aniki. A senior, number 6, Isabel Arnold. A senior, number 10, Chloe Barca. A senior, number 3, Claire Bowen. A junior, number 25, Victoria Carmignani. A sophomore, number 22, Lily DeForge. A junior, number 8, Catherine Ewald. A senior, number 13, Riley Fitzpatrick. A senior, number 15, Anna Grasso. A junior, number 14, Avery Greco. A sophomore, number 20, Celine Hamad. A sophomore, number 7, Madison Horton. A junior, number 11, Bridget Leo. A junior, number 17, Riley Lorenzo. A freshman, number 18, Kelly O'Connor. A senior, number 16, Jacqueline O'Neill. A senior, number 12, Stella Regan. A senior, number 24, Emily Riley. A junior, number 21, Chloe Stavely. A junior, number 23, Jamie Tanner. A sophomore keeper, number 1, Rachel Welch. And a sophomore, number 5, Anya Zub. So that is the roster for the hosting 4th-seeded Franklin High Panthers. Should be getting this one underway soon. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in, and I apologize if stream comes in a little slow. Looks like it's relatively okay so far. Video quality might dip a bit. Just spotty internet. I do have it going as a recording, so if it gets really egregiously bad, I will simply upload the recording later. But for right now, thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm excited to be here. I hope you're excited to be watching. MIAA Division I State Tournament Round of 16 coming at you soon. We're a little less than 5 minutes away from our scheduled start time. Though given that we are in the playoffs, might still be having an introduction of rosters and the national anthem as we had in the round of 32. Once again, Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, happy to bring you live coverage of this Division I State Tournament Round of 16 contest between the visiting 13th-seeded Brookline High Warriors and the hosting 4th-seeded Franklin High Panthers. Remember, if you are enjoying the broadcast, to hit that like button. It looks like we got a couple already, which I'm happy to see. I encourage you to subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date on my upcoming live stream. And it sounds like the PA announcer is coming in below me, or right next to me, I should say. I'm right next to the speakers where I'm at right now.
Participating student athletes, coaches, and contest officials have worked diligently to prepare for today's competition. Please show your appreciation by demonstrating good sportsmanship and respect for all those in attendance. Ensure that your behaviors reflect the values that should be identified with these student athletes. Assume responsibility for your behavior and the behavior of those around you. Any verbal, written, or physical conduct related to race, gender, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, or religion shall not be tolerated, could subject the violator to ejection, and may result in penalties being assessed against your team. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineups for the Brookline Warriors. Number 1, Velina Cherichev.
Looks like they're reading out starting lineups. First off for Brookline is number 1, Velina Chernichev.
Leslie.
Next up, number 3, Hope Leshley.
Number 4, Zoe Fagnan.
Next up, number 4, Zoe Fagnan.
Number 10, Amara Okuduma.
Next up, number 10,
Number
Amra
11,
Ukamadu.
Madeline Moore.
Number 11, Madeline Moore.
Number 15, Cecilia Wager.
Number 15, Cecilia Wager.
Number 16, Sydney Freeze.
Number 6.
Number 18.
They called out
Anna
number 6.
Leslie.
They called out number 16, Sydney Freeze, but number 16 is Kendall
Number
Freeze.
22, Eleanor Bergstein.
And then they called out number 18, Anna Leshley, and number 22,
Number
Eleanor
23,
Bergstein.
Juliana Anastopoulos.
And then the goalie wearing number
And the
0
coach
is
for the
Juliana
Brookline
Anastopoulos.
Rob Sprague.
And it looks like they did have a slight erroneous call out. It's not
Now
number
for
16,
your
it's
Franklin
number
Panthers.
19, Sydney Freeze.
Number 1, Rachel Welsh.
Next up, calling out for Franklin. Starting off, they have
Number 5,
number 1,
Anya
Rachel
Zub.
Welch, the starting keeper. Next, they have number 5, Anya Zub.
Number 7, Maddie Horton.
After that, number 7, Madison Horton.
Number 9, Nora Anderson.
Number 9, Nora Anderson.
Number 10, Chloe Barca.
Number 10, Chloe Barca.
Number 11, Bridget Leo.
Number 11, Bridget Leo.
Number 12, Stella Regan.
Number 12, Stella Regan.
Number 13, Riley Fitzpatrick.
Number 13, Riley Fitzpatrick.
Number 16, Jackie O'Neill.
Number 16, Jacqueline O'Neill.
Number 18, Kelly O'Connor.
Number 18, the freshman, Kelly O'Connor.
And number 22, Lily DeForge.
And number 22, Lily DeForge.
Varsity
So
head coach
that is the
Jody Klein.
that is the starting lineup for the Franklin High Panthers with head coach Jody
Our
Klein.
great nation has persevered through the leadership and
National
sacrifices
anthem
of
is
men and
lined up
women who have
next.
served or who are currently serving in our armed forces. We invite both veterans and current military personnel to please stand at this time. We thank you so much for your service to our country. Now we invite everyone to stand for the playing of our national anthem. Ladies
All right.
and gentlemen, please be reminded that
That
noisemakers
was
are not allowed at
the
MIA
national
events.
anthem.
No
Some
hooligans,
last words from the
cowbells,
PA
or
announcer, and then we'll get this
thundersticks.
game
Thank
underway.
you.
And, you know, I got to say, I like the idea of just having the national anthem during the playoffs. You know, this might be a bit of a hot take on my part, but I do like the idea of just having it during the playoffs. First off, I know some facilities really can't accommodate the playing of the national anthem, like Skyline Park in Brookline doesn't have a speaker or anything like that, so can't really do it there. So that's one reason. Secondly, when it's just during the regular season, you know, like kids got to get home and do their homework. Let's, you know, not overdo the pregame stuff. And thirdly, I think it makes it feel like a little more special when you do it during the playoffs, because already the playoff atmosphere is pretty special, so you can add a little more flair to it. It feeds into itself in that way. And, you know, it makes it feel, like I said, like something special as opposed to just a chore you have to get through before the game gets underway. So that's my hot take. If you agree, or even if you disagree, feel free to let me know in the live chat if you want. Or engage in the live chat in any number of other ways. If you want to cheer on your favorite players, if you want to say hi to the other folks watching here on YouTube, or if you want to correct me on anything, if I'm pronouncing anyone's names wrong, if I have jersey numbers incorrect, any other fun facts or information you want to send my way that you think would aid the broadcast, I'm not a proud man. I'm willing to accept help from the audience. That's just how I roll. Coming out, the two starting lineups again for Brookline. They have Anastopoulos in net, and their starters, Chernychev, Leshley, Fagnan, Ukamadou, Moore, Wager, Anna Leshley, and Sydney Freeze, and Eleanor Bergstein. All right, looks like Franklin is going to get the opening possession. Trying to see the jersey number of the one who's kicking this one away. Looks like number 5, I believe. That is Anya Zub, who will be getting us started here in the first half. 40 minutes on the clock, and here we go. Franklin with the opening possession. They decide to work it all the way to the center back. Center back number 7 turns around, kicks it back to Rachel Welch, the starting goalie for Franklin. Brookline takes that one away. Chernychev sends a pass back to Hope Leshley, now all the way back to Sydney Freeze. Freeze swings it over to the far side to Zoe Fagnan. Fagnan dribbling. Attempted pass is knocked away and stolen by Franklin. Now they're working down the far side. Attempted centering pass, dangerous, kicked away. Pass launched is cut off. Good effort, I believe, by Sydney Freeze on the defense there for Brookline. Saved a potential quick first goal of the game. Clearing kick by Anna Leshley, and now Ukamadou fighting for it. Amra Ukamadou got it, bringing that speed along the near side. She's being chased down, fighting off her defender, and it looks like we've got a penalty call, and I think that's going to go against Ukamadou. Got a little too physical, fighting off her defender, who I believe was number 12, Stella Regan. Now, big kick forward, scrumming for it along the near side, booted away by number 11, Madeline Moore. And it goes all the way back to Welch, and she scoops that one up easily. Welch punts this one high and deep towards midfield, off the head of Leshley, and downed and taken and pushed ahead by Bergstein. Pass to Ukamadou. Ukamadou now trying to lead Bergstein. Bergstein trying to bring that speed to the far side. Takes a kick at the ball. It's downed for a second. Bergstein tried to take it, but poked away by one of the backs. Now a big clearing kick up the far side. It's going to be chased down and kicked back to Anastopoulos. Anastopoulos boots this one in the air. Deflects and booted into the air. And trying to take it, that was number 11, Bridget Leo, who had it for a second. Couple passes, and now lost along the far side by number 16, Jackie O'Neill. Might have actually been O'Neill who was chasing down Ukamadou a couple plays ago. But either way, we got a throw in for Brookline. Being handled along the near side. That's Anna Leshley trying to touch it through to Ukamadou, but couldn't control it. Kicked away. Hope Leshley scrumming for it. Now coming in is Freeze to kick it ahead. Finds Chernychev. Chernychev trying to control it. A nice touch ahead to Anna Leshley. Leshley tried to touch it down the near side, but deflected out by O'Neill. This will be a throw-in for Brookline. Goes into Chernychev. Back to Moore. Moore taps it over to Leshley. Deflected, lost out of bounds, and they're going to say Brookline ball. Moore, another throw-in, goes over Leshley. She's trying to gain the edge. Leshley's got a bit of an edge. Tries a centering kick, deflected, and bounces harmlessly into the arms of Welch. Good last-ditch effort by the Franklin backs there. Among the center backs is number 7, Maddie Horton. Bit of a scrum for the ball off that punt, but controlled by Franklin. They decide to kick it all the way back to Welch and start over. Welch launches one down the near side. Kicked away by Moore. Leshley is not going to get there in time to keep that one in bounds. This will be a throw-in for Franklin. Passed back to O'Neill, goes off the side of her foot and out of bounds. Moore throws it in, deflected away by O'Neill, but then Chernychev touches it, and that's going to go out of bounds. That'll be Franklin ball. Or no, they're going to say Brookline ball. Must have deflected off of somebody. Throw in goes to Anna Leshley. Leshley tries to turn around down the sideline, kicks one through the legs of her defender, and ultimately kicked out of bounds. I believe that was Horton who kicked that one out. Quick throw in to Commodore, who gets smothered by some defenders, kicked away, but right to number 5, Anya Zub. Zub now sprinting across midfield, attempts a leading pass, missed the mark, but we've got a penalty call as it looks like number 12, Stella Regan, got taken down in an off-ball play somewhere. She wasn't the intended target of the pass, and she wasn't the one passing, but still fell to the ground. Supposedly got run over by a Brookline player. This will now be a free kick for the Panthers. This one is booted, goes off the head of Fagnan, off a couple deflections, finally booted away by Brookline, and that's going to bounce out of bounds. Throw in here, goes off ahead, off another. Now Franklin tries to do a centering pass, but deflects awkwardly, and ultimately scooped up by Anastopoulos, and what's this whistle here? Were they calling something against Brookline? I guess not. I think they called offsides against Franklin. Strange. Anyway, Anastopoulos boots this one towards midfield, takes a bounce, tapped ahead by Anna Leshley, but nobody's there. That's going to be taken by O'Neill. She's going to turn around and clear this one away. Moore comes in and deflects, takes a weird hop. Now they're battling for the ball, and Chernychev trying to take it away. She does. The freshman taps it back to another freshman, Sydney Freeze, who then kicks it all the way back to the senior keeper. Anastopoulos boots this one across midfield, and now it's a bit of a foot race for it, but I think the goalie's going to get there first, and Welch kicks it away out of bounds. Ukamadu might have had a step on her defender, but too far away from the ball. Easy pickings for the Franklin keeper. Throw in for Brookline, goes down the far side, and is booted out of bounds, so we're going to try that one again. Throw in, defender cuts it off. Now they're scrumming for it. Brookline trying to maintain control down the far side, but can't do it. Kicked away, kicked towards the center, but deflected away again. And now booted away, goes off the foot of, I think, Hope Leshley, and that goes out of bounds. Throw in here. Weird deflections, and ultimately lost out of bounds. Throw in. Ukamadu somehow keeps it not in bounds. She was trying to make a bit of a circus act there to try and keep it in, but just didn't have enough room. Now scrumming for the ball. Brookline takes it away. trying to work it down the far side. Now a leading pass for Ukamadu. She's bringing that speed, just barely kicked into the air and out of bounds by one of the Franklin backs just before Ukamadu could get there and deflect it forward. That would have been dangerous. Good efforts by, I think I'll have to figure out who that is later, but in the meantime, Welch scoops up that deflection. Now boots this one into the air. Deflects, kicked by Chernychev, back to Wager. Wager sends it down the far side. And now I think that's number 5, Ansley Washburn, who is fighting for that one, but ultimately kicked ahead by Franklin. Cut off by Freeze and booted ahead by Moore. Off the foot of Ukamadu. Ukamadu trying to deflect it again. It deflects into open space, booted away by Franklin. Now Moore takes it. Maddie Moore trying to fight off, but ultimately Leshley swoops in. Hope Leshley passes ahead, just misses her sister Anna, and it rolls past. And I think we've got a penalty call against Franklin. So this is going to be a free kick. It'll be taken by Cecilia Wager. Remember, she did score in the 3rd minute of Saturday's contest on a free kick. Got a bit of a distance to go here. She's at around the 35-yard line of the football field. Here's the kick from Wager, just going to float it towards the box. Deflects off ahead and into open space. Franklin trying to clear it away. And a pass down the near side is out of bounds. Pressure was coming from Hope Leshley, forced that errant kick. Moore throws it in, and Franklin clears that away pretty easily. Again, Hope Leshley trying to prevent the clear, and she just has to tap it back to Wager. Wager now boots it, leading for either Bergstein or Ukamadu, but ultimately booted away again by that center back, who I'm having trouble identifying her jersey number because her hair is kind of in the way. Throw in goes to Ukamadu. Ukamadu trying to gain the edge. Centering kick. Oh, just saved by Welch. That was a lot more dangerous than it looked at first. Ukamadu almost sneaking in the first goal there. You can't underestimate her abilities to get around the edge. She's been a thorn in opponents' sides all season long with that ability, and it's set her up for a lot of great centering kicks that can both go in or set up a teammate to get it in. That's why she's got a well-rounded stat line of 4 goals and 4 assists for the regular season. Throw in for Brookline. Cut off. Now they're trying to keep control. Franklin sends it up the far side, skips past a couple players, but ends up just rolling to Anastopoulos. Anastopoulos takes it back so that she can scoop it up in her hands and punt it. Off ahead, skips past Bridget Leo, but now another player trying to chase it down. Dangerous from Anya Zub, but Wager ultimately gets in front of it and boots it away. Anya Zub has shown that speed of her own a couple of times. Could be a dangerous threat for Brookline as this game goes on. Now scrumming for the ball. Looks like Hope Leshley wins this ball. Nice spin move. Pass ahead to Ukamadu. Ukamadu controls it. Trying to head for the far side. Running out of room. Loses the ball out of bounds. A good defensive effort by Franklin's number 11, Bridget Leo, cutting her off and forcing her to dribble out of bounds. And now this one's poked away by Chernychev and recovered by Ukamadu, but Ukamadu couldn't keep control of it. And it's booted away by, I want to say, number 9, Nora Anderson. Couple passes, and now it's with Maddie Moore. Moore boots it ahead, but it's cut off by Horton. Horton kicks it. Now a couple deflections. Chernychev kicks it away, but then Horton kicks it right back. Deflects over to number 13, number 13, Riley Fitzpatrick, who touches ahead for O'Neill. O'Neill trying to head down the near side, but lost control of it out of bounds as she was trying to fight around Hope Leshley. Throw in now to Anna Leshley, who taps it back. Chernychev trying to keep control of it while surrounded by several defenders. Ball lost out of bounds, and they're going to say Brookline ball. Or no, they're going to say a penalty on Franklin. That makes more sense. Wager getting ready for the free kick. Launches this one high. Deflects off the head of Chernychev and downed by O'Neill. Centering kick finds its target. I believe that is number 10, who sends it to the far side. Now back to Anderson. Kicked across midfield. Kicked back by Wager. Now it's a foot race for the ball. Ukamadou is getting in front of it. Ukamadou launches one, but not enough mustard on it. Taken by Welch easily. The little bit of interference from Maddie Horton really forced that shot to be less powerful than Ukamadou would have liked. She had to rush it a little bit, and that's why that one did not break the scoreless tie. I believe that is Ansley Washburn with the ball, poked away by number 12. That is Stella Regan. And now Brookline trying to clear, but instead they get the favorable deflection. This is Zoe Fagnan now throwing the ball in for the Warriors. Going down the line and ultimately kicked away by the Panthers. Kicked away by Fagnan. Goes ahead to Ukamadou, who's forced to kick it out of bounds due to pressure from behind. But a little confusion about whose possession it is, but they do say Franklin. Throw in goes to Regan. Regan lost control of it, poked away by Chernychev. They were trying to get control of it, ultimately kicked up the line, kicked back. Scrumming for it a little bit. Number 22 for them is Lily DeForge. Deflected with Chernychev out of bounds, but now they're scrumming for it again. Franklin trying to get the ball moving. Brookline trying to close off all potential lanes. Now this is number 12, Regan, dribbling with it again, heading towards the middle, getting cut off, and Hope Leshley just rips that ball away from the opposition. Now sends a pass to an area where there's nobody. It looks like O'Neill is going to get there first and is just going to let it roll out of bounds. About 15 minutes gone here in the first half, no score in this Division I state tournament round of 16 contest. Brookline now trying to work some fancy passes, but Leshley couldn't keep control of it. It's booted away by Horton, goes ahead to Anya Zub. Zub sending a pass ahead, finds her target. Now she's trying to look for a through pass. No, she's just going to try and gain the edge, but cut off by Cecilia Wager and forced to the far side. Now gets around Wager, centering kick deflected, dangerous, but just off the mark. Out of bounds, Brookline ball. How dangerous was that? Fighting around the defensive efforts of both Fagnan and Wager. Now a deflection to Regan, tries to head it to a teammate. Booted in the air by Wager, deflects, and then booted away by Moore. Goes back to number 11, who a nice pass over for one of their teammates. Booted but deflected away and lost. Now goes back, launched shot, saved by Anastopoulos. Moving the ball so fast, I'm having trouble keeping track of who's who out there. Hard collision for the ball, no call on either side, and Anderson collects it and sends it back to Horton, who sent it over to O'Neill up the sideline and out of bounds. Throw in goes to Anna Leshley. Leshley passes for Chernychev. Harassed from behind by Regan. She takes the ball away, but her pass intercepted by Moore. Moore, a long kick off the foot of Ukamadou. And now Leshley and O'Neill scrumming for it. Lost out of bounds, and they're going to say Franklin ball. Now kicked away by Chernychev. Goes back to number 11, Bridget Leo. Kicked ahead. Finds a target. Attempted touch pass for the far side, intercepted by, I want to say, Bergstein, but they fight it away. Now another battle for the ball, goes out of bounds, Brookline ball. Now this one booted up in the air and out of bounds. Throw in, off ahead. Now off the head of Wager. Now they're scrumming for it. That one's deflected away and remains Franklin ball. Throw in, again downed and recovered by Franklin. Pass deflected by Ukamadu, and she was trying to race for it, but ultimately kicked back from Anderson to Welch. Welch kicks it in the air, off the head of Anna Leshley, bounces, downed by Hope Leshley, trying to fight off Fitzpatrick. Gets the pass back to Moore. Moore flutes one towards the box. Ukamadu racing in, but boxed out, and Welch takes it easily. Again, good defensive efforts by Nora Anderson. Welch punts this one in the air. High bounce off the head of Fitzpatrick. Now Moore kicks it across midfield. Ukamadu deflects it off her head. Anderson collects it, fakes out Ukamadu, and gets the pass away. Slightly deflected by Washburn, but ultimately collected by, I want to say, number 10, Chloe Barca. But now this kick deflected, recovered by Leo. Leo passes ahead. Now dribbling with it, cut off well by Anna Leshley. Anna Leshley now trying to weave her way through several players, but ultimately cut off and kicked away by Bridget Leo. It goes back to Welch. Welch's kick bounces past Hope Leshley, and she ultimately has to touch it back to Freeze. Sydney Freeze kicks it ahead. Oh, hard deflection off the face of Eleanor Bergstein, and she's calling for a signal to come out hurt. Oh, that looked like it might have hit her right in the teeth. And you certainly hope she's okay, and, you know, just from a humanitarian standpoint, you hope she's okay. And, of course, from a soccer standpoint, you certainly would hope she can return. She was an effective offensive option for Brookline late in the regular season, scored 1 goal in each of the team's last 2 regular season games. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. So a sub has come in for Brookline, replacing Bergstein, as we got a free ball kick, I guess, for Franklin. Now bouncing high in the air, deflected, and Hope Leshley boots this one ahead. Bounces. Ukamadu heads it. Now booted away by Anderson. And this is a long boot by Anderson. Wager boxing out the opposition so it can be scooped up by Anastopoulos. Anastopoulos now punts it across midfield. Deflects off of Leo's foot, being chased down by the player who subbed in for Bergstein, trying to see the number. And indeed, it is Mila Seifert who deflects that one out of bounds, the senior co-captain, seeing the field for the first time as a result of the injury. Throw in down the line, finds Barca, attempted centering kick. Player gets tripped up, and they draw the foul call. Halfway through the first half, no score here at Piscini Stadium in Franklin, Massachusetts. There's going to be a long kick from Anderson. Sends it towards the box, off the head of Wager. Some deflections, booted away by Hope Leshley. Ukamadu takes it, gets past Leo, weaves her way around another defender. Ukamadu dribbling with some space, trying to go for the edge against Anderson. Ball gets poked away by Anderson and out of bounds. Nora Anderson has been busy as one of the center backs for the Franklin Panthers. As this one's thrown in for Brookline, touched right back to the thrower. Attempted pass back is off the mark and out of bounds. It goes back to Franklin. Throw in for the Panthers. Goes off ahead. Skips all the way back to Anderson. Anderson lifts that one over to Fitzpatrick on the near side. Fitzpatrick gets a kick ahead, but the only one in the vicinity is Sydney Freeze. Freeze kicks it back to Anastopoulos. Anastopoulos boots this one away towards midfield. Skips past Anderson, but she's going to chase it down first and kick it back to Welch. Welch gets the kick away, but right to Anna Leshley. Leshley now fighting with a defender to try and get the pole position there, but it's ultimately booted away by Horton after the boxing out effort by O'Neill. Now Freeze again sends it back to Anastopoulos, who again sends it towards midfield. Weird bounce, weird deflection, and now it's a race for it. Anderson's going to get there first and kick it ahead to, I think, Barca. Barca sends it back to DeForge, who then sends it over to Anderson, back to DeForge. Lily DeForge sends it up the line to Reagan, And Regan gets stood up and loses the ball out of bounds against Zoe Fagnan. I think we got another sub checking in for Brookline. I think hard to see what the jersey number is from this distance and this lack of light. But we got a scrum for the ball regardless. Tapped ahead, taken away by Franklin, kicked into open space. Hope Leshley is there. Leshley sends a pass off the mark for Anna Leshley, kicked away by O'Neill. Goes back to Freeze. Freeze attempted pass, misses Moore. Moore trying to keep it in bounds, can't do it. Throw in is taken by Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick working down the near side. Ball deflected, somehow kept in bounds and kicked back to Freeze from Anna Leshley. Leshley is now on the ground as it looks like she might have taken a hard hit to her ribs. And that will get the penalty call. Both teams getting physical. You know this is playoff soccer. And it looks like the free kick is going to be taken by Wager with just the ball running as this goes off ahead. Another couple deflections. I believe that's Seifert who kicks it back to Fagnan. Fagnan dribbling, sends a pass ahead. Finds the most recent substitute, couldn't see her jersey number, passed over to Chernychev. Now back to Freeze. Freeze ahead to Chernychev. Now passed over to Hope Leshley. Leshley's pass off the mark, taken for a second by Fitzpatrick, stolen back by Chernychev. Chernychev taps it over to Leshley. Leshley trying to find an open passing lane, sends a pass ahead to Seifert, but kicked away from Seifert, collected by Barca. Pass over to, I believe, Reagan on the far side. Now Reagan tries to kick one ahead. It's kicked back by Freeze. Downed and kicked off a face. And downed by Hope Leshley. Leshley fights off the physical bump there and taps it ahead. Now kicked ahead, trying to lead Seifert. Seifert racing against Anderson and Welch gets there first. Nice idea on the pass from number 20, Liv Ernst, who was the most recent sub to come in, replacing Ansley Washburn. Now this kick off the head of Leshley, off a foot. Regan's taking it. Regan trying to dribble around, deflected away from her, but she's going to chase it down and keep working down the far side. Regan now losing control of it, has to send a pass back. I believe this is Barca, sending it back to DeForge. DeForge kicks it into open space off the head of Hope Leshley into some open space, ultimately kicked away from Anderson to O'Neill. Kick again off the head of Hope Leshley. Deflected down by O'Neill. She's now scrumming for it. Trying to fend off Chernychev and Anna Leshley. Kicks it back to Horton. Kicked across midfield, taken by Zub. Zub attempted leading pass, slipped and falls, and that's a handball. Big trip up by Zoe Fagnan. That would have been a breakaway for Franklin if Fagnan hadn't fallen on that ball as a result of her tripping. Regardless, that is an easy handball call, and now Anderson is going to be taking a free kick from about the 24-yard line. Very scoreable free kick here. 26th minute, here we go. Kick from Anderson, there's a whistle. It's punched away by Anastopoulos, but it looks like she's going to get to kick it again, as there was, I don't know, some kind of something. Now kicking it from the 21, so I guess false start, 3-yard penalty. Here comes Anderson again, trying to float it towards the box. Caught easily by Anastopoulos. Sprinting out of the box, she punts that one towards midfield. Kicked away, but kicked right to Brookline's Ernst. She kicks it, then Anderson kicks it back. Now a pass to Regan. Chernychev trying to wrestle it away, but Regan gets the kickoff. Now attempted over the back kick, headed away by Wager. Now scrumming for the ball, and Chernychev boots it away. Goes back to Horton. Horton boots it high in the air, off the head of Moore, and that's going to go out of bounds. You know, I will say Juliana Anastopoulos doesn't make a lot of, like, crazy diving saves because mostly she doesn't have to, but she's got such a great size that I don't think anybody really talks about in net that makes saves of those high floater shots look absolutely effortless, because those aren't effortless saves for a lot of keepers, but Anastopoulos has got that size to make it pretty effortless. As Brookline now trying to work this one upfield, Anna Leshley taps it. It's deflected away and lost, kicked ahead to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick attempted leading pass, but cut off and booted out of bounds by Wager. Pass was intended for Anya Zub. Would have been a big chance there as that one flies into the crowd. Throw-in will come from O'Neal. O'Neal throws this one in. Finds Regan. Kick towards the center. Scrumming for it. This one's booted high in the air. Can of corn for Anastopoulos. This one punted towards midfield, taken by Ukamadou. Ukamadou trying to work around Leo. Gets around Leo. Ukamadou taking off with speed. Leading pass is cut off and intercepted by Anderson. Anderson kicked towards the far side. And working her way around the defender. Working up the far side. Now a leading kick to nobody is going to be scooped up easily by Anastopoulos. Punts this one towards midfield. Deflected from Leo. Back towards the far side. For, I'm not quite sure, as this one is lost out of bounds. And I think we got a timeout called. So there are two players for Franklin who look like they're wearing number 12, and I'm having a little trouble figuring out what the other one is. So obviously one of them is number 12, Stella Regan. Not quite sure who the other one is, though. Regardless, we do have a timeout, 11 minutes and 42 seconds on the clock here at Piscini Stadium on the campus of Franklin High School in Franklin, Massachusetts. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan bringing you live coverage of this MIAA Division I Girls Soccer State Tournament round of 16 matchup. A spot in the Division I quarterfinals on the line here for these two teams, but no one has found the back of the net just yet. There's been a couple of dangerous chances on both sides. Franklin had that recent free kick from a pretty scoreable distance from Nora Anderson, but Anastopoulos took care of business there. And then for Brookline, Amra Ukamadou almost kind of snuck one into the top corner on a shot that initially looked more like a centering kick than anything. But Rachel Welch read that one well and came up with the save. We started out with a very warm night here in Franklin. I was actually kind of surprised about how warm it was. I ended up taking off all my coats before I got here because I got so hot carrying my equipment to the stadium. Things starting to cool down now as we get later into the night. A little bit more of what I initially expected from a 6 o'clock start time. But still, despite the chilly night, a sizable crowd out here for the home team. As we get ready to resume the action here. Again, 11 minutes and 42 seconds left before the break. And we got no score on either side. Looks like we got some subs that have come in. As we got a throw in for Brookline. This one deflected away out of bounds, stays with Brookline. Throw in. Fighting for it along the far side, and this time Franklin gets the ball. Throw in immediately deflected by, I believe, Fagnan. And now chasing it down, seeing the pitch for the first time is Gianna Pentland. Sends a pass ahead. It's booted away. Pass was intended for another sub in. 16, Kendall Freeze. as we got some wild deflections, and now we got a call. I think we got a penalty call against Brookline. So a free kick from close to the 40-yard line for Franklin. Again, it'll come from Nora Anderson. From about the 41-yard line, Anderson launches this one towards the box, skips into the arms of Anastopoulos. Booted, it's deflected down by Leo. Now another deflection. Still more deflections, nobody's got it cleanly. Chernychev boots that one upfield, but nobody there. And so that's gonna roll into the arms of Rachel Welch. Welch punts this one towards midfield, goes over everybody and all the way back to Cecilia Wager, who now boots this one towards the far side, deflected. And now I think that's Ernst who's trying to take this one. Liv Ernst dribbling with it, pass over to Chernychev. Chernychev tries to lift one off the head of Pentland, off another head. Still scrumming for it along the near side and ultimately won by Jackie O'Neill. Freeze still pushing the issue and ultimately kicked out of bounds. How about the effort from Kendall Freeze? Throw in from Moore goes to Pentland, kicked back to Chernychev. Chernychev dribbling around, kicks it towards the box, but nobody there, and that's going to be out of bounds for a goal kick. Welch getting ready for this goal kick here. This one's booted, skips past, off the head of Fitzpatrick, and Sydney Freeze is going to chase it down and kick it back to Anastopoulos. Anastopoulos boots it towards midfield, deflected and taken by Chernychev, passes to Moore on the near side. Maddie Moore dribbling, now boots this one high. Anderson's there to kick it away, off the head of Chernychev, and that's out of bounds. You know, that's how you know Chernychev's got a good sense for the ball. She's legit one of the shortest players out on the field, and yet she's gotten multiple headers already today. Now they're fighting along the near side. O'Neill slips and loses control of the ball. That's going to be Brookline ball. Good pressure from Chernychev. Throw in, booted in the air by Freeze. Chased down by Barca, passed back to Anderson. Anderson has to kick it away fast due to pressure from Pentland. Deflected away by a sprinting Zoe Fagnan, and that goes out of bounds. 8 minutes left before the half as they're scrumming along the far side. Booted into the air. Bounces out of bounds, Brookline ball. Throw in down the line, deflects out of bounds, stays with Brookline. Another throw in, kicked up the line and out of bounds. Throw in, and now Leo, I think, is trying to, either Leo or Barco is trying to kick it, lost out of bounds, back to Brookline. Throw in is headed out of bounds and stays with Brookline. Throw in. Now looks like this one might stay in play for a little bit as this one deflects over to Anya Zub, who boots it into the air. Favorable header deflection, but ultimately booted away by Wager. Weird deflection into open space. Attempted pass intercepted, but goes right to Barca. Pass to the far side. Now dribbling up the far side, cut off by Hope Leshley, who bobs and weaves away from her defender and gets a pass ahead to, I want to say, Seifert. Pass deflects. Kendall Freeze takes it. Kendall Freeze winds and fires from half the county away and ultimately taken easily by Welch. Booted in the air. Down off the head of Leshley, but collected by Franklin. Kick towards the middle. Barca passes for Leo. Leo sends it back to Horton. Horton trying to get control of it. Send a pass to O'Neill. Off the mark, out of bounds. Pressure was coming from Gianna Pentland there. Had to get the pass away quick and couldn't get it off right. Pentland taps to Freeze, tries to lead Pentland on the give and go, just off the mark, kicked away by Anderson. This kick cut off by Leshley, but Zub's going to cut off Leshley and pass down to the far side. Potential chance for Franklin here as they go for the give and go. Big chance, but Fagnan is going to scoot in and box out the attacker and force the goal kick. That pass maybe just a little further than it needed to be, but also some good defensive efforts as she was losing space on that one. That was almost disaster, but well read by the senior co-captain, Zoe Fagnan. Anastopoulos now getting ready for the goal kick, just over 5 minutes left in the half. High in the air it goes, off a head, off another head, and it looks like Leo has it, fights through a defender, dribbling in open space, sends a pass ahead, and now they're trying to gain the edge here, running out of room, deflected away and out of bounds. Again, I'm pretty sure that was Fagnan on the defense there, as this one is popped in the air, off the head of Freeze, off the foot of Fagnan, into open space, booted high towards the box, dangerous, and ultimately Anastopoulos comes in and grabs the ball. Sydney Freeze was boxing out Fitzpatrick on that one, as this one deflects, stolen away by Regan, pass ahead, a bit of a collision, but ultimately taken and won by Leshley. Pass ahead to Pentland. Pentland turns, pressure from behind, loses the ball. Anderson takes it and kicks it. Bit of a deflection, goes back to O'Neill. O'Neill's kick gets away, deflected away by Leshley. Now Moore kicks it. Now more deflections, and Freeze pops it out of bounds. Almost a dangerous chance for Anya Zub on that one. Throw in for O'Neill. Is almost cut off, but they get the pass ahead to Riley Fitzpatrick, who's now battling against Hope Leshley. And Leshley just trying to box him out. Fitzpatrick getting physical there. And I'm not sure. Oh, my camera wasn't far enough. My mistake there. But this is going to be a corner kick for Franklin. Big chance for the Panthers here with about 3 minutes left in the half. I think it's going to be Fitzpatrick taking the corner kick. And indeed, it will be Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick gives the signal. Kick towards the box. It's high. Weird deflection. Brookline trying to clear it. Not a clean clear. Regan had a chance at it, but it's booted away by, I believe, Chernychev. Franklin gets a deflection out of bounds, but not the one they want. This is going to go to Brookline. Throw-in is immediately stolen by Franklin. They're trying to fight their way through. Hope Leshley cuts it off. And they draw a penalty on Franklin, so this is going to be a free kick for Brookline. Wager lining up to launch this one. We're about to enter stoppage time. As Wager boots this one, goes off a foot, back across midfield, off the head of Freeze, taken by Moore. Moore kicks it ahead, finds Pentland. Pentland sees a lane. Oh, that's going to be offsides all day. They didn't prepare it right. You could see the idea forming in their heads, but the kick needed to get away faster so that Seifert wouldn't be offsides. Instead, this one booted into the air. Clock frozen at 2 minutes left. We are in stoppage time here in the first half. No score. Throw in goes to Pentland. Tapped back to Chernychev. Chernychev dribbling, trying to gain the edge. Doesn't keep it in bounds. This will be Franklin ball. Throw in. Deflects. Freeze battling for it, but ultimately loses it out of bounds. Stays with Franklin. throw in, deflected, kicked away. Now taken by Pentland. Pentland taps it back to Chernychev, who pops it in the air. Pentland fights her way through the defense. Pentland sends a pass over to Seifert. Or no, not Seifert. That is, that's Bergstein, I think. She's back in the game. Her kick is deflected in the air. Weirdly taken. Almost a chance for Brookline, but they lost the ball and it's kicked away. Goes back to Fagnan. Fagnan boots it towards the box, but not in time. It's going to just go to Welch. So unless I was misreading the numbers, it looks like Eleanor Bergstein is back in the game, which is good to see. As this one deflects down, taken by Chernychev. Pass gets away from Freeze, booted out of bounds by O'Neill. And that's going to be the whistle for the half. We are midway through here at Piscini Stadium on the campus of Franklin High School in Franklin, Massachusetts. Your score after the first 40 minutes is no score. Brookline 0, Franklin 0. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in to this broadcast here today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, happy to bring you live coverage of this MIAA Division I Girls Soccer State Tournament Round of 16 contest. If you're enjoying the broadcast, make sure to hit that like button. I also encourage you to subscribe to the channel, stay on top of all my upcoming live stream broadcasts. Engage in the live chat, let me know how you're feeling. Send the love out to your fellow fans of your team or your favorite players, however you want to do it. Or leave comments in the comment section if you're watching this after the fact, as this will remain up on my channel even after the live stream is over. If you look in the description of the video, you'll see a link to my personal website, jessesports.com. You can find out more about me, my services, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. You can also see links to my social media, my Facebook and Instagram. I don't post that frequently on Facebook, but on Instagram I do tend to post the biggest highlight from the game I covered the previous day, so that can be a pretty fun account to follow. And you can also see my email address in there if you just want to skip all the nonsense and contact me directly. 0-0 the score at half. I'm Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Going to take off my headset for a brief minute, but I will be back for the second half of this ball game. Stay tuned. Test. Okay. Sorry, folks. Got scared for a second that I lost the audio. Happens sometimes, but not this time, thankfully.
Good evening, Panther fans. Just a playoff announcement. The field hockey team defeated Central Catholic 2-0. And they will be moving on to play either Thursday or Friday at Beaver Street Field. And the volleyball team defeated Shrewsbury 3-0. And the volleyball team will most likely be playing on Friday here at home. So let's have a big hand for those two teams.
Hello, everybody. Back on the headset. This is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan coming to you live from Piscini Stadium on the campus of Franklin High School in Franklin, Massachusetts, where we are just a couple minutes away from starting the second half of this MIAA Division I Girls Soccer State Tournament Round of 16 contest between the 4th-seeded Franklin High Panthers and the 13th-seeded Brookline High Warriors. No score as of yet. This game will have to end with someone scoring. Can't end a playoff game in a tie. One big kick could make all the difference in this one. Hard to say who it'll come from. From Brookline, I don't think it's a stretch to say that Amra Ukamadu had probably some of the best chances to score in that first half. Now, Ukamadu was the team's second leading goal scorer with 4 goals on the regular season, trailing only Anna Leshley, who had 6. That said, Ukamadu has not scored since an October 12 1-0 victory at Framingham. So a lot of goals in the early portions of the season, but now it's been almost a month since her last goal. So if you believe in the concept of a player being due for a big play, there's no question Ukamadu might be due for a score. On the other side, Franklin had some very dangerous chances. Of course, Nora Anderson with the potential free kicks, but also the player who I struggled identifying before, I believe, was actually their freshman, number 18, Kelly O'Connor. She was bringing some big speed and giving fits to the Brookline defense along that far side, which of course is now the near side. But of course, that coveted first goal could come from anybody. 40 minutes on the clock for the second half. We're either 40 minutes away from a conclusion or 40 minutes away from, dare I say, overtime if no one is able to score. Brookline getting the opening possession here in the second half. Amra Ukamadu kicks it back to Hope Leshley. We're underway. Leshley boots it ahead down the far side. She was aiming at Anna Leshley, who was pressured by Jackie O'Neill. Lost it out of bounds. Franklin ball off the head of Leshley, off the head of O'Neill, towards the middle, off the head of Hope Leshley, downed by Chloe Barca, kicked towards the far side for Riley Fitzpatrick. Now a leading pass for Anya Zub. Zub's bringing some speed, dangerous chance. Zub kicks, nobody there. Taken by Zoe Fagnan and kicked up the line. And now kicked back by Bergstein. Now they got a scrum for it a bit, and now kicked out of bounds. That was almost very dangerous for Brookline as Anya Zub brought that speed against the Brookline backs. Now dangerous chance, trying to fight her way through and ultimately kicked away. Franklin wasting no chance as the throw in here gets tipped back to Lily DeForge. Kick towards the middle. Dangerous deflection. Boxing out, sliding in his Anastopoulos. Big chance now. Nobody's covering, but they deflect it. And ultimately booted out. I believe that was Sydney Freeze who got that last desperate deflection as this ball is lost out of bounds, and it'll be a goal kick for Brookline. Talk about a heart attack to start the half. So many big chances for the Franklin attack. They came out swinging here in the opening minutes. Brookline somehow survives that initial onslaught, but they've got to settle themselves down if they're going to prevent any of those future onslaughts from coming. DeForge kicks this one into open space. It's being chased down by O'Neal. O'Neal dribbling up the far side, kicks this one ahead, deflects weirdly, still deflecting weirdly. Wager finally gets a boot on it and sends it out of bounds. And they're going to say Franklin ball. Throw in from DeForge, finds O'Connor, but O'Connor loses control of it, and ultimately it is booted out of bounds by Fagnan. DeForge looking to throw this one in. She does. It's booted right back to DeForge, whose kick is deflected. DeForge recovers, tries to spin around, loses track of the ball, and loses it out of bounds. This will be Brookline's possession. Throw in now goes to, I believe, Eleanor Bergstein. Bergstein, nice touch pass. Now kicked ahead. Ukamadu with the ball, trying to get control of it. Now trying a leading pass, but cut off by Anderson. Booted in the air off the head of Hope Leshley. Now off the boot of Velena Chernychev, off the foot of Maddie Horton. Now deflected by Maddie Moore. Now the ball is loose, lost out of bounds. Brookline ball. Throw in from Moore, aimed for Anna Leshley. Leshley is battling against O'Neal on the far side. Lost out of bounds, stays with Brookline. Throw in. Kick towards the middle, intercepted by Barca. Barca kicks it ahead for Reagan, now kicked ahead for Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick gets kind of stood up by Moore, loses the ball out of bounds, but they're going to say Franklin ball. Throw in, off the head of Moore. Bounces, taken by Barca, and booted into the air, off the head of Wager. Weird deflection, goes back to Barca. Barca now tries a leading kick, deflected by Moore and kicked away. Another throw in for the Panthers. This one thrown in. And getting around a defender for a second. Still trying to scrum her way through. Kick towards the end, and I think they called offsides. Like I said, Franklin really showing up here in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Anastopoulos now taking the free kick off the offsides. Anna Leshley deflects it off her head, somehow stays in bounds, but Horton boots it away. Now to Hope Leshley, boots it high in the air and deflects, scrummed for. It looks like it's taken by Bergstein. Eleanor Bergstein dribbling down the near side, now cutting towards the middle. Bergstein sending a pass for Ukamadu. Ukamadu's all by herself, centering kick, nobody there. And I think they called offsides on Brookline anyway. Not sure what the offsides was. It looked like Ukamadu came after the ball, but I guess not. But either way, no score. But Brookline with their first real dangerous chance. Some great ball handling by Eleanor Bergstein to really set that up, as Welch boots this one off a couple of heads. Still scrumming for it. Gets tapped back to Hope Leshley. Leshley trying to work her way around. She's surrounded, but still trying to just force her way into it. Gets the ball away and still being scrummed, and it looks like Franklin's got it now. Kicked ahead by Reagan, but lost out of bounds, and it's going to be Brookline ball. Throw in from Fagnan to Leshley. Weird kick. Couple teammates collide, but ultimately Leo takes it, passes back to DeForge. Booted into the air. Weird bounce. They're scrumming for it. Looks like Fitzpatrick's got it. She's got Anna Leshley on her heels, has to kick it away, and this one's going to simply roll into the arms of Anastopoulos. Now Anastopoulos boots this towards midfield. Bergstein trying to down it. Bergstein just has to tap it away. Couldn't get full control. Moore swoops in and takes it. Maddie Moore working along the far side. Loses the ball out of bounds. And that's going to be a throw-in for Brookline. Thrown ahead to Leshley. Anna Leshley trying to battle her way around the edge. Forces O'Neill to kick it out of bounds. So Brookline working deep into Franklin territory. Trying to put something together. Throw in. Finds Ukamadou, but not cleanly. And now Franklin gets the favorable deflection. Yes, it is Franklin ball. Throw in, deflects off ahead. Now boots this one down the line. It's going to go all the way back to Sydney Freeze. Swung over to Cecilia Wager. Wager dribbling, plenty of space. Now here comes the pressure, and she kicks it away. Weird deflection taken by DeForge. Pass misses O'Connor out of bounds. Throw in from Fagnan, goes off ahead, back to Fagnan. Fagnan takes it. Sends one up the line, finds Bergstein. Bergstein gets around a defender. Nice move there. Still bringing that speed. Tripped up and gets the whistle. Big chance for Brookline as they're going to be taking a free kick from outside the lines, but about the 15-yard line of the football field. Zoe Fagnan lining up to boot this one. This is almost like a corner kick. Fagnan gets it in the air towards the box. Dangerous! Off a foot, but wide. Vilena Chernychev was the first to the ball, but it just didn't bounce off her leg correctly. And that misses wide. Welch now lining up for a goal kick. These two teams just trading haymakers in terms of offensive chances. First couple of minutes, it was all Franklin. Now these past couple possessions, it's been all Brookline. Welch boots it in the air. Deflects down, deflected away, and Franklin seems to still be having control of it. This is Fitzpatrick down the far side. Now a leading pass. Wait a minute, no offsides call, but she couldn't control it. Oh, they did call offsides. Crowd reacted as if it wasn't offsides. I was confused there for a sec. Almost a huge chance, I believe, for Regan. Instead, a big kick goes to Ukamadou. Ukamadou trying to work her way around the edge. Now stops. Centering pass finds Anna Leshley. Leshley sends a pass for Bergstein, but offsides. Heads-up move by the Franklin defense, jumping up, so she had nowhere to go. This kick immediately goes out of bounds. Throw in for Brookline. Throw in deflects down, stolen away, but now some weird deflections off the kick. Can they force it through? No, it's going to be taken by Fagnan. Centering pass to Wager, or no, to Freeze. Kicked ahead, lost for a second, still scrumming for it. Freeze trying to fight. Looks like Zub is going to take it. Pass ahead for O'Connor. O'Connor trying to run over Fagnan, can't do it as Wager swoops in and takes the ball. Wager passes it off the mark, intercepted, kicked now to O'Connor. O'Connor now trying to work her way again. Again kicked away by Fagnan, this time taken by Bergstein. Bergstein gets around her defender, now again working up that near side. Now a leading pass through Ukamadou, offsides. Franklin showing some good defensive instincts for drawing those offsides calls. They can tell exactly when Brookline is trying to go for those leading passes, and they're jumping up well to cut them off at the source. Free kick for Anderson. Goes off the head of Wager, collected by Bergstein. Bergstein tries to pass ahead. Nobody there, and that's going to be collected by Anderson. Anderson's kick is intercepted by Bergstein, but not cleanly, and it's kicked away by Leo, goes back to Anderson. Anderson's pass deflected down by Anna Leshley, but Leo takes it, passes out to the far side to O'Neill. O'Neill kicks it up the line, downed by Freeze, and booted away. Now Leo trying to take it again, kicks it all the way back to Welch. Welch kicks it into space, and it goes to Fagnan, And now that one goes off of Fagnan's head, and Bergstein manages to kick it up the line, keep it in bounds. Now a race to the ball. Anderson just barely gets it away from Ukamadu, and DeForge kicks it upfield, but now it's lost out of bounds. This will be Brookline ball. Substitution coming in for the Warriors as Ukamadu is coming out in favor of, I believe, Gianna Pentland. Throw in now is collected by Pentland. Pass back off the mark, kicked out of bounds. Another throw in from Fagnan. Couple taps. And O'Connor just loses control of it, out of bounds. Brookline ball still. Weird ricochets with the ball out of bounds along the benches, but eventually collected. Thrown in to Hope Leshley. Leshley hits way too much traffic, loses the ball out of bounds, and this will be Franklin ball. Throw in down the line off the head of Fagnan. Bounces back to Wager, who takes it, now boots it across midfield, deflected away by Leo, out of bounds. Brookline ball again. Throw in from Bergstein to Pentland. Pentland touches it over. Quick pass to Chernychev. Chernychev fires one from long distance, but didn't get the air, and so it's collected easily by Welch. Welch punts this one. And it's going to be taken by O'Connor as her defender falls, but Hope Leshley swoops in to help, and the ball is lost out of bounds. It'll stay Franklin ball. DeForge throws this one in. Collected by Zub, passed back to DeForge. DeForge passed for the middle, deflected, and then taken by Anna Leshley. Leshley manages to get a pass through to Ansley Washburn. Washburn kicks it back to Hope Leshley. Now kicked ahead to Chernychev. Chernychev tries to lift it, but can't get the lift, and it's intercepted, but a weird couple deflections. Brookline trying to fight it. Now Chernychev boots it high in the air. Downed, kicked ahead. Oh, dangerous chance. Gianna Pentland! Score! Offsides! For a second, I thought they had it that time, but flagman says no. That is an offsides call, and no score there. Welch, her kick headed down and now booted ahead. Now racing for the ball. It's headed back to the keeper. Dangerous idea, but ultimately effective header from Sydney Freeze to get back to the keeper. Now this one deflects off ahead, finds Bergstein. Bergstein dribbling towards the middle. Now coming back, now kicking ahead. And I don't know if there was an offsides call there, but either way it wasn't collected. And now trying to fight down the edge. Ball is lost out of bounds, and I believe this is going to be a goal kick. Over 15 minutes now into the second half, we still have no score here at Piscini Stadium in Franklin, Massachusetts. Welch boots it in the air, deflects, goes off the foot of Barca, off the head of Pentland, now kicked away by Anderson and finds O'Connor. O'Connor dribbling. Leshley provides some pressure, and Fagnan kicks it out of bounds. Hard collision at the end, but ultimately it's just going to be an out of bounds. DeForge throws it in, off the head of O'Connor. Now a race to the ball. Wager gets there first, trying to box her out, and ultimately it does roll out of bounds for the goal kick. Anastopoulos boots this one. Weirdly deflects and stolen away by Franklin. Now a leading pass looking for Fitzpatrick, but that's going to go too far, and that's going to be another goal kick. Now kick goes in. Booted away from Fagnan. Finds Pentland's foot. Pentland trying to bring some lift, but not enough. Kicked away by DeForge. Bounces all the way to Maddie Moore. Maddie Moore now dribbling with it. Maddie Moore tries to tap it ahead for herself. Maddie Moore finding some space. Centering kick. Off ahead. Misses wide. I think that was Pentland again who almost had the go-ahead score. Great efforts by Maddie Moore. Going from box to box there as Welch. Well, not really box to box, but midfield to box. You know what I mean. She usually plays along the back line, but really went on the attack there. Is now Brookline a throw-in. Deflection towards the middle, kicked away by Anderson. Deflects off ahead, now kicked ahead, intercepted by Hope Leshley. Leshley works her way around a defender. Now a centering pass off the mark, intercepted. Now tapped back for Barca. Barca sends a kick all the way back to Welch, who boots it into the air. Off the head of Hope Leshley. Now off a foot, goes to O'Connor. O'Connor, attempted leading pass deflected away by Fagnan. DeForge works to keep it in bounds, but stolen away by Fagnan. Fagnan now trying to work against her own defenders. Ultimately taps it back to Wager, booted it into the air. Goes off the head of Pentland, into some open space, off the head of Anderson. Swooping in and taking it was Anna Leshley, but then stolen back and passed back to DeForge, kicked into open space. Deflects off ahead, chased down by Moore and kicked up the line. And it looks like O'Neill is just going to watch this one go out of bounds. Throw in here. Deflected away, stolen by Chernychev. Passed ahead, finds Pentland. Pentland fakes out a defender, now coming around, trying to direct traffic, sending a pass for Bergstein. Bergstein swooping in and taking it, trying now to get around her defenders. Attempted kick, that's in! Eleanor Bergstein! What a kick! No offsides this time. Brookline has the lead. My goodness. Brookline waited patiently on that one. Nice pass from Gianna Pentland and Eleanor Bergstein finds just enough room to launch a floater that just went over the outstretched fingertips of Rachel Welch. 1-0, the Brookline lead. The entire fabric of this game has changed with that one kick. Attempted leading pass down the near side, cut off by Cecilia Wager, kicked back to Anastopoulos, and Anastopoulos boots it away, but it goes right to Stella Regan. Regan trying to make something happen. Her kick deflected out of bounds. Throw in from DeForge, goes off a head, off another head. Whiffs on the clearing kick. Regan trying to fight her way through. Now O'Connor swoops in. And we've got a penalty call, I believe, against Franklin. We are midway through the second half. Still plenty of soccer left to play here. But the underdog, Brookline Warriors, with a chance at a big upset here if they can maintain this score. This one booted ahead. Ukamadou trying to keep it in bounds, but loses track of it. It's going to be Franklin ball. Just over 19 minutes left in regulation here as the throw-in takes some weird deflections. Now Ukamadou dribbling with it. Amaru Ukamadou can't fight through Anderson. It's deflected all the way back to Hope Leshley. Leshley faking out her defenders, passing it back to Fagnan. Fagnan boots it high in the air. Downed and a hard hit from behind. That's going to be a penalty. That penalty called against Nora Anderson, as a hard collision on Gianna Pentland drew that penalty. Now a free kick coming from Cecilia Wager. This one coming from about the 31-yard line. 1-0, the Brookline lead here in this round of 16 contest. The clock is frozen for some reason. I'm not sure why. That's clearly a mistake. Booted high in the air by Wager. Misses high and wide. Now the clock's running again. I'm not sure why it stopped. Maybe the refs signaled for something? Not for me to know. Welch now getting ready for the goal kick. This one booted high in the air. Skips past a number of players, booted into the air by Wager. And now we've got a penalty against Brookline as Pentland collides. Pentland didn't like the call, but when another player falls, odds are the refs are going to call the penalty. Free kick now for Anderson. This one kicked ahead, finds O'Connor. O'Connor can't quite get around Fagnan, has to retreat, send a pass intercepted by Pentland, passed back and taken away by Reagan. Reagan passes to Barca. Barca sends it back to Horton. Horton tries to send it deflected away. And now trying to fight for it is Seifert, who gets the favorable deflection out of bounds. Throw in here. Deflected out of bounds, stays with Brookline. Among the new players in for Brookline is number 27, Alex Levy, seeing the pitch for the first time today. Throw in, deflects back, booted high in the air, skips past Ukamadou, and now booted up by, I believe, O'Connor, and we've got a whistle? Oh, the ref did not seem happy with Ukamadou there. And now talking with Pentland as well. Couple of penalty calls against Brookline, and the officials don't seem happy about it. We'll see how that develops. Anderson boots this one, skips past everybody, a foot race to the ball. Wager boxing out O'Connor, doing a great job there, and the ball lost out of bounds. That's the kind of ability you want from one of your center backs, just that physical ability to fight off any push from the attackers, and Cecilia Wager does a great job. They call an illegal throw-in, a throw-in violation against Brookline, and this instantly flips the possession. Now DeForge getting ready to throw it in. Tapped back to DeForge, now tapped towards the middle. Weird deflection the wrong way, but booted into the air, taken by Ukamadou. Ukamadou trying to fight it off, can't do it, stolen away by O'Connor. O'Connor fakes out Ukamadou, attempted pass, booted away by Wager, and they're going to say actually it was booted off of a Franklin player. This will be Brookline ball. Throw in. They're scrumming along the near side, kicked out of bounds, Franklin ball. 15 minutes left, Brookline 1, Franklin 0. Throw in from DeForge. Off the head of Fagnan, off a foot. Now trying to box out and keep it in bounds, and they say no, Brookline ball. Throw in here, goes off ahead and out of bounds. Another throw in from Fagnan. Goes off the head of Ukamadou, off the foot of DeForge into open space. Hope Leshley swoops in and boots that one ahead, and it's going to go all the way back to Welch. Now booted back in the air, off the head of Leshley again. Off the head of Ukamadou, trying to lead, but that's going to be an offsides call against Brookline. Franklin rushing the free kick. They are showing the urgency of a team trailing by 1 in a playoff game. as they try this pass down the far side, misses the mark, and that's going to give it back to Brookline. Fagnan throws it in. Leshley whiffs on it, stolen away by Regan. Regan trying to work her way through, runs out of space, but they're going to call a penalty on Brookline. Nora Anderson getting ready for the free kick. There's the signal. Here's the kick. Heading towards the box. Skips in and taken by Anastopoulos. Now booted high in the air. Bounces over everybody. A foot race to the ball. Anderson kicks it away. And now deflected back by Levy. It goes to Ukamadou. Ukamadou going down the near side. Still dribbling. Trying to bring that speed. She gains the edge. Centering kick. Misses. Couldn't quite kick it. Now a scrum in the box. And it ultimately bounces into the hands of Welch. Brookline was going for the dagger on that one. Now this one is downed, but kicked away by Levy. Back to Hope Leshley. Leshley lifts it. Now bounces. Anderson has to try and kick it. It's awkward. As now we get a deflection. Out of bounds. Goal kick. Gianna Pentland and Amra Ukamadou providing the pressure against Nora Anderson, but ultimately ends in a goal kick. Welch boots a line drive, taken immediately by Pentland. Gianna Pentland has a big chance here, fires, misses wide. And now we've got a timeout called. 11 minutes and 51 seconds left. And that one was almost a dagger there. Gianna Pentland's had a number of huge chances, but just some rotten luck. As coming back to this, I see that my live chat has exploded, as have my viewer numbers. Oh my gosh. So happy to see you all here. And one of the interesting questions from Kendall Sundstrom, how many offsides will there be? Well, even if there aren't any more the rest of the game, the answer is a lot, I would say. Like I said earlier, you know, Franklin in a lot of plays has been very smart with timing that jump up that defenders do to, you know, leave the attackers of the other team in a position where, you know, they're not in position. But so far, Brookline 1, Franklin 0. The 13th seeded Warriors trying to complete the upset victory over the 4th seeded Panthers here tonight. If they do, the hero of the hour will be number 22, Eleanor Bergstein. She has been an absolute revelation for the Brookline offense late in the season. Had no points to her name through most of the regular season, but now has 3 goals in the past 4 games. 1 in each of the 2 final games of the regular season, including the game winner against Newton North, and the first goal of that 4-0 blowout win over Milton on Senior Day. And now she's got the goal here that could prove to be the game winner. We have 11 minutes and 51 seconds left in this one, and it's another goal kick for Rachel Welch. Players playing back a lot shorter after that near disaster. This goal kick does go further, though. It's collected, booted into the air, off the head of O'Connor, towards the middle, cut off by Hope Leshley, but fighting it off, ultimately poked away and sliding in. It's a scrum for the ball, ultimately won by Regan, but Regan has it poked away out of bounds by Fagnan. Franklin bringing the fight for the ball. Throw in here from Horton is deflected away and kicked out of bounds by Fagnan. Another throw in from my mistake. That's number 3 who threw that in. But off the deflection, it's taken by Ukamadu. Deflected back, but lost out of bounds, stays with Brookline. So one of the subs appears to be number 3, Claire Bowen. Throw in for Brookline, deflects off ahead. Tapped back to O'Connor, but the pass is intercepted by Fagnan. Kicked into open space. Gianna Pentland with the ball, fighting off her defender, kicks it into open space, but booted away by Anderson. Now Chloe Barca with the ball. Tries to kick a leading kick, but nobody in the vicinity. Brookline just going to box out and watch that one roll. Oh, but that might be close. But they are going to call a goal kick. Zoe Fagnan having to reset the corner flag, as that was really close with pressure coming from, I believe, Anya Zub. And Anastopoulos boots this one in the air. Off ahead, being chased down by Bowen. And they're going to say Brookline ball. Franklin thought that one deflected off of Ukamadu, but they didn't get that call there. So now we have a sub checking in, replacing Gianna Pentland. And that's Bergstein coming back into the game as Fagnan throws it in. Taken away immediately by Franklin. Booted into the air off the head of Hope Leshley. Bounces back to Bowen. Bowen dribbling with it. Pass ahead to Barca. Deflected away, goes back to Bowen. Bowen trying to fake out Levy. Gets a kick towards the middle. Goes off ahead. Off the head of Levy. Back to Bowen. Bowen kicks it into the air. Now off the head of Hope Leshley. Off the head of Levy. Off the foot of Leshley. Mila Seifert trying to take it, but too many blue shirts in there. And instead, it's taken by Velena Chernychev. Passed ahead to Ukamadu. Ukamadu trying to get around the edge. Decides to wait. And poked away by Anderson into open space. Leshley comes in and fires towards the box. Well wide. That's going to be a goal kick. Welch boots this one in the air, downed by Seifert, but booted ahead anyway. Finds a target, that's Reagan. Reagan trying to lift it up, but cut off by Maddie Moore. Kicked away, goes all the way back to Horton. Kicked back, and then Moore kicks it back. Now kicked up the line. Again, Moore swoops in, but kind of whiffs on that one. And lost out of bounds, Franklin ball. Throw in goes off ahead, now off a foot and goes up the far side. And Horton is going to get there first and just let it roll out of bounds. Little less than 8 minutes left here. Brookline, the 1-0 lead, trying for the upset. This one booted away into open space. Weird deflection, but Horton just manages to get it away. Collected by Levy. Levy trying to deflect it through. Bergstein collects it. Bergstein kicks it towards the box, but not enough mustard on that one. It's taken by Welch. Got very physical on both sides there, but refs swallowing their whistles on that one, as this one is now going to bounce out of bounds. Bowen the throw-in, off ahead, off the head of Wager. Now kicked, still deflecting like crazy. And finally collected by Bergstein. Bergstein's kick is deflected and lost out of bounds. This will be Brookline ball. Throw in from Fagnan. Off the head a couple of times. Downed by, I believe, Barca. Kick deflected out of bounds by Levy. Throw-in is kind of whiffed a bit, but tapped back to Bowen, who kicks it up the line and goes off the side of the foot of Leshley and out of bounds. Throw-in Kicked away by Leshley, but back to Bowen. Bowen loses it out of bounds. This will be Brookline ball. Fagnan throws this one in. Off ahead. Collected. Deflected. A couple deflections. Out of bounds. Franklin ball. Thrown in from Reagan, but lost out of bounds. O'Connor couldn't keep control of it. It goes back to Brookline. Thrown in again. Bergstein has it stolen away by Reagan. Reagan trying to work her way through, but can't maintain control. Out of bounds. Goes back to Brookline. Throw in here. Off the head of Ukamadou and out of bounds. All of these out of bounds throws back and forth. Very favorable for Brookline as the clock continues to tick away. As this one now goes off ahead. Off another head. Now off another head, finds Reagan. Reagan now trying to lead Anya Zub. Big chance for Anya Zub. Defenders coming to match her up. She's double teamed, loses the ball, kicked out of bounds by Brookline. Just over 5 minutes left. Franklin trying to push the issue here. Throw in goes off ahead and kicked by Bowen towards the middle, but nobody there. Hope Leshley boots that one across midfield. That's going to be lost out of bounds. It'll be Franklin ball, but much further away from the goal. Clock frozen at 5 minutes. We are in stoppage time. Only the men with the whistles know how much time we got left. Throw in here. It's collected. Pass along the far side. Deflected and lost out of bounds. Throw in is deflected and stays with Franklin. Another quick throw in. Pass back, finds a target. Poked away though. Sliding in is Alex Levy, but they still maintain possession. That pass is juggled and booted away by Fagnan. Now another couple kicks, or my mistake, that was Bergstein, not Fagnan. And now this kick into open space is booted away by Maddie Moore. Now being poked away and booted by Anderson off the foot of Reagan. They try and keep it in bounds, but can't do it. This will be Brookline ball. Brookline 1, Franklin 0. We are in stoppage time here in the second half. Throw in here. Deflected. Out of bounds, stays with Brookline. They'll take those out of bounds deflections all day. As again, some weird deflections, but Brookline trying to kick it ahead, and they get it all the way down to Welch. Franklin restarting the attack. Put it into open space. O'Connor kicks it ahead. Leshley kicks it back. Kicked down and taken for a second, but into open space off the side of the foot of Leshley. And now Alex Levy couldn't keep it in bounds. This will stay with Franklin. Quick throw in. Goes ahead. Tapped back to Barca. Barca fakes out Levy. Goes up the near side. Kick deflected out of bounds by Hope Leshley. Throw in from Bowen. Goes off ahead. Off the same head. Reagan trying to make things happen. Reagan tries a floating pass. Goes off the head. Out of bounds. Stays Franklin ball. O'Connor looking for a target. Finds a teammate. Now a tap for O'Connor. O'Connor, big centering kick right into the arms of Anastopoulos. Anastopoulos boots this one away. High bounce. Kicked ahead by Ukamadou. Ukamadou trying to race for the ball. Amru Ukamadou still dribbling with it. Gets tripped up. No call. They must have got ball. Anderson takes it. Anderson kicks it away. Goes off the foot of Levy. Kept in bounds for the moment. And lost out of bounds. Brookline ball. Good efforts by Fagnan and Bergstein to keep that one in bounds. This throw-in is kept in by Ukamadou, but stolen away and booted upfield. Nobody there except Cecilia Wager, and she's going to kick it back to Anastopoulos. Anastopoulos takes it, quickly boots it away, goes off ahead, deflects off a couple players, lost out of bounds, Franklin ball. Throw-in goes off the head of O'Connor into open space. Chernychev boots that one upfield. Goes to Anderson. Anderson dribbling. Kicks it up the middle. Booted away by Hope Leshley and out of bounds. Franklin ball, and again, only the officials know how much time we got left in this round of 16 Division I contest. As they're scrumming for it along the far side, out of bounds, and it'll be Franklin ball. Throw in here, couple deflections. This one sliced into the air, kicked ahead by Leo. Now dangerously bouncing ball, Freeze kicks it out of bounds. Franklin working their way upfield, but they know they got to hurry. Quick throw in, deflection, more deflections. Now into open space, Chernychev is going to get there first and boot it all the way across midfield. And now Anderson manages to tap it away from Ukamadu, gets it over to Bowen. Bowen pops it into the air. Now swooping in and kicking it away is Matty Moore. It's booted right back by Horton, off the head of Wager. Collected for a second, scrumming for it, still scrumming for it, and then someone swoops in and kicks it right to Anastopoulos, who is just gonna dribble with it. She's just waiting on it. And now scooping it up with her hands. Savvy clock-killing move by Juliana Anastopoulos. Across midfield, it's deflected and then booted into the air once again. Ukamadu again chasing after it. Amra Ukamadu fires! That's the dagger! Amra Ukamadu! I said she was due, and would you look at that? Oh, I wish I could have told who that floater pass came from, because whoever it did just got the assist. I'll have to take a look back at the replay later. But a huge insurance goal in stoppage time by number 10, Amra Ukamadu. Brookline now up 2-0. This one passed back. Franklin not going to quit until the end, as this one goes off ahead. Kicked back by Barca. Dangerous chance in the box. Weird deflection. Shot! Saved by Anastopoulos. Oh, a harder kickoff of that one might have made it a one-score game, but there's the 3 whistles! Brookline wins! The 13th seeded Warriors come out with the upset victory over the 4th seeded Panthers. Quarterfinals, here they come. What a huge win for Brookline. Fantastic efforts up and down the board. The goals scored first by number 22, Eleanor Bergstein, off a pass from Gianna Pentland. And then the insurance goal coming in stoppage time from Amra Ukamadu. Juliana Anastopoulos claims another shutout. Had some nice saves along the way there. Absolutely incredible. Well, unless schedules change, I believe the quarterfinals are scheduled for Saturday. I'm going to have to double check that one. In fact, I'm going to double check it now. I'm going to head right to the MIAA site to try and figure out what we got coming up next. So Brookline heading into the round of 8, and they're going to be facing off against 5th seeded Newton South High School in that next round. That game slated for the 13th, which is in fact Saturday. So next game for Brookline will be Saturday. I'm going to have to find out if I'll be available that day. I am booked for a game in the early afternoon, so we'll have to see what time that is, whether or not I can broadcast it. But I hope so, because this team has been very, very fun to follow. Looking again at the exploding live chat, absolutely loving it. Plenty of great shout-outs to the players on their fantastic scores, smart efforts, and then some of the last ones. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the great announcing we had tonight from Alexander Lynch, from Kendall Sundstrom. This announcer did an amazing job. From Jackie Caraco, great job, announcer. Thank you so much, guys. That means a lot. I love doing this. You know, this is this is the dream job for me. I'm trying to make it work, trying to turn it into a living, and your positive feedback just makes that journey all the sweeter. So, from Piscini Stadium on the campus of Franklin High School in Franklin, Massachusetts, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Final score, Brookline 2, Franklin 0. Goal scorers, Eleanor Bergstein and Amra Ukamadou. Before I sign off, once again, if you enjoyed the broadcast, be sure to hit that like button. I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, stay up to date on all my upcoming broadcasts. And if you're watching this after the fact, feel free to leave comments in the comments section. And if you look in the description of the video, you can see a link to my personal website, jessesports.com. You can find out more about me, the services I provide, and how you can commission me to cover your favorite team. You can also see links to my social media in there, links to my Instagram account. I'll probably post videos just of the goal plays on my Instagram tomorrow. So that's something to look forward to if you decide to follow me on that account. And you'll also see my email address there if you just want to skip all the formalities and contact me directly about any requests for my services. As not only do I do highlights for games, not only do I do game coverage, I also make highlight packages that you can see on my channel, either for your favorite team to celebrate the season or for your favorite player, maybe for, either as a celebration of their season or for any recruiting purposes. I'm able to make those. But, I think I've rambled enough. So let's close this one out. Final score, Brookline 2, Franklin 0. The Warriors advance to the quarterfinals against Newton South on Saturday. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great rest of your night.